Hello everyone, I am Ritika Zuzkar, Assistant Professor IT Department. So in this video we discuss about perceptron learning rules. So in previous video we already discussed about what is meant by perceptron, how this perceptron works in artificial neural network, and also we discuss what are the learning algorithms are used in a perceptron. Okay, so where we discuss the learning algorithm for single output unit and also the learning algorithm for the multiple output units. So in this video we discuss about the perceptron learning rules. Okay, perceptron can be viewed as a building blocks in a single layer in a neural network made up of four different parts. Okay, so the first part is the input values or a one input layer. The second one is the weights and the biases. The third one is the net sum, calculate the net input sum, and the fourth part is the activation function. So a neural network which is made up of perceptrons can be perceived as a complex logical statements. It's made up of a very simple logical statements of and or statements. A statement can only be true or false, but never both at the same time. So the goal of a perceptron is to determine from the input whether the feature is it recognizing is true. In other words, whether the output is going to be a 0 or a 1. So the complex statement is still a statement and its output can only be either 0 or a 1. So the single layer perceptron can learn only the linear separable patterns, but the multi-layer perceptrons or feed-forward neural network with two or more layers have the greater processing power. The perceptron algorithm learns the weights for the input signal in order to draw a linear decision boundary. Okay, like this. Draw the straight line linear. So this linear decision boundary enables you to distinguish between the two linear separable classes, that is either plus one or a one, or we can say the one or zero. So the learning rule is a part of a supervised learning. So the supervised learning is a type of machine learning used to learn models from the labeling training data. It enables output predictions for a future or a unseen data. Okay, so in the supervised learning is a type of a machine learning. Okay, so there are some learning rules used in a perceptron. Okay, so the learning rules is, what is a learning rule? So the objective of a main objective of a learning rule is a method or a mathematical logic. It helps a neural network to learn from the existing conditions and improve its performance. It is an iterative process. Okay. So in the machine, so what are the learning rules in a neural network? Okay, so the learning rule or a learning process is a method or a mathematical logic. So it improves the artificial neural network performances and applies this rule over the neural network. So these learning rules updates the weight and biases level of a network when a network simultaneously in a specific data environment. So applying learning rule is an iterative process. Okay, so it helps a neural network to learn from the existing condition and improve its performance. Okay, so what is a learning rule? So it is a process or a method or it is a mathematical logical process. So in that, if we are applying the learning rules in an iterative process, to it helps a neural network to learn from the existing conditions and improve its performances. So there is a different learning rules in the neural network. So Hebbian learning rule. So it identifies how to modify the weights of a node of a network. The perceptron learning rules. So network starts its learning by assigning a random value to each weight. Then a delta learning rule. So modification in a sympatric weight of a node is equal to the multiplication of a error and the input. The fourth one is the correction correlation learning rules. So the correlation rule is a supervised learning, same as a supervised learning. Outstar learning rule. So we can use it when it assumes that nodes or neurons in a network arranged in a layer. So these are the different learning rules used in a neural network. Okay. So in our syllabus, only the perceptron learning rule is given. So we will briefly discuss what is a perceptron learning rule and how is the working of a perceptron learning rule. So the next is a perceptron learning rule. So, as you know, each connections in a neural network has an associated weights which changes in course of learning. So, according to it, an example of supervised learning. So, the network starts its learning by assigning a random value to each weight. So, calculate the out, calculate the output value on the basis of set of records for which we can know the expected output value. So this is the learning sample that indicates the entire definitions. So as a result, it is called as a learning sample. So the network then compares the calculated output value with the expected value. So the next calculates an error function which can be the sum of the square. So error function can be the sum of the square of the error occurring for each individual in the learning sample. Okay. So the network then compares the calculated output value with the expected value. So in a supervised learning, we discuss the if the actual signal or a actual output and the desired output are same, then it will generate the output. Okay, so if the actual signal and actual output and desired outputs are not same, then it will shows the error signal. Okay, same in a perceptron learning rule. The network then if the network compares the calculated output value with the expected value, so the next calculates an error function. Okay, so which can be the sum of the square of the error occurring for each individual in the learning sample. Okay, computed as follows. Okay, so in there the summation of I and the summation of j, in bracket e of ij minus expected output minus o of ij output is whole bracket square. So this is the mathematical formula of perceptron learning rule in the artificial neural network. So here the perform the first summation on the individual of the learning set and the perform the second summation on the output unit. Okay, so here the first summation is indicate that summation on the individual of the learning set and the second summation is the output unit. Okay, so here Eij and Oij are the expected and obtained value of the jth unit for the ith individual. Okay, so E is the expected output and the O is the obtained output or a value jth unit for the ith individuals. So the network then adjusts the weight of the different units, checking each time to see if the error function has increased or decreased. So as in a conventional regression, this is a matter of solving a problem of a least square. So the assigning the weights of a node according to the user, it is an example of a supervised learning. Okay. So the perceptron learning rule states that the algorithm would automatically learn the optimal weight coefficients. So the input features are then multiplied with these weights to determine if the neuron fires or not. So the perceptron receives the multiple input signals, and if the sum of the inputs exceeds a certain threshold value, if it either output a signal or does not return an output. So in the context of supervised learning and the classification, this can be used to predict the class of a sample. Okay. So here we the summation of, here we summation of x1 w1 plus x2 w2 up to the xm wn with one bias, that is bias input value is 1 and the weight is a w0. So produces the net input function applying some activation function. If the expected output or expected value and obtained value are not same, then generate the error. If both are same, then the output, if the output is 1, then the neuron fires. If the output is 0, then neuron does not fire. Okay, so this is the perceptron rule. Next, the perceptron function. So the perceptron is a function that maps its input x, which is multiplied with the learned weight coefficient, and output value f of x is generated. So here we create the f of x function equal to 1 if w dot x plus b. So w means weight, x means input, plus b means bias, greater than 0, then the output is 1, otherwise 0. So here W is a weight, vector of a real value weight, B is the bias, an element that adjusts the boundaries away from the origin without any dependencies on the input value, and X is the vector of input X values. And here the M is the number of inputs to the perceptron, I equal to 1 to m. So number of inputs to the perceptron. So the output can be represented as 1 or 0. So it can be represented as 1 or a minus 1 depending on which activation function is used. So the next part is the inputs of a perceptron. So a perceptron accepts the input, moderate them with the certain weight values, then applies the transformation function to output the final result. Okay, so this is the perceptron with the Boolean output. This diagram shows the perceptron with the Boolean output. So Boolean output is based on an input such as a age, past credit profit. Okay, so this type of inputs or a salaries. Okay, etc. So it has only two values, yes or no, or a true and false. So the summation function multiplies all the input of x by with the by using some weights value and then add them as follows. So here we added one bias, that is W0 into 1. So the answer is W0 plus weight values and input values. Summation of weight value and summation of all the input and weights and the product of all the weight and input. So W0 plus W1 x1 plus W2 x2 plus up to the Wm xn. Okay, here m or n. So this is the input of a perceptron. So in the next we discuss the activation function of a perceptron. So up to this, in a perceptron model or a perceptron, there are four types. Okay, first input value. Okay, weight and bias, net sum and activation function. So input value, weight and bias, next net input function and activation function. So we previously we add the bias and apply the input and weight values, then generate the net input function. So this is the net input function. Okay, now after the net input function applying the activation function. Okay, so this is the fourth part, activation function of a perceptron. So the activation function applies a step rule, that is convert the numeric output into the plus 1 or a minus 1 to check if the output of the weight weighting function is greater than 0 or not. So if we are applying the activation function on a perceptron, so it will produces the output in a plus 1 or a minus 1 to check if the output of weighted function is greater than 0 or a not. So in a previous unit we discussed the activation function and the types of activation function. So in that we discussed the linear step function, sine function, sigmoid function, rectified linear unit function, okay, softmax function. So these are the types of activation function. So if we are using the example of a bank, okay. So in that if the summation of all the inputs and the weighted is greater than 0, that is the summation of Wi xi is greater than 0, then the final output is 0. Okay. So the in a bank condition, in a bank example, so if the final output is 0, okay, that is equal to 1, so issues bank loan. So it will generate the issue on a bank loan. Else, if the final summation of Wixi is not a greater than 0, then the final output is a 0, or we can say the minus 1. So deny bank loan. Okay. So first, the final output is equal to 1, then they issue the bank loan, and if the final output is minus 1, then the bank loan is denied. Okay. So in this diagram, the step function gets triggered above a certain value of the neuron outputs, else its output 0. Sine function outputs plus 1 to the minus 1 depending on the whether the neuron output is greater than 0 or not. But in a sigmoid is the S curve and outputs a value between 0 and 1. So here, so in this graph, we are applying some activation function. Okay. Same in a step function gets triggered above a certain value of the neuron output. Okay. Else its output is 0, 0 or 1. Sine function outputs between plus 1 to minus 1 depending on the whether the neuron output is 0 greater than 0 or not, and in a sigmoid it is a S curve output a value between 0 and 1. Okay, so this is the activation function of a perceptron. Next, the output of a perceptron. So up to this, we will generate the net input function. Okay. So the final output of perceptron is, so it here we create the perceptron with the Boolean output. The number of inputs are x1 to the xn. Okay, and output is a function of O x1 up to the xn. So here the input is x1 to xn. We will generate the output of a perceptron denoted by O. So O of x1 up to the xn. So here if W0 plus W1 x1 plus W2 x2 up to the Wn xn are greater than 0, then the output is 1. Otherwise the output is a minus 1. Okay. So Wi is a weight contribution of input xi to the perceptron output, and W0 is a bias or a threshold. If summation of W dot x is greater than 0, so then the output is a plus 1. Otherwise the output is a minus 1. So in that case, the neuron gets triggered only when the weighted input reaches a certain threshold value. So the output of x bar, that is a vector of input, equal to sine function of vector of weights and vector of inputs. So here the sine function with output, sine function shows the output in a plus one format or a minus one format. Okay, output into the plus one or a minus one. So here we applying the sine function. Okay, plus one or a minus one. If the output of a output for a perceptron gives the answer in a plus one or a minus one format, so here we applying the sine function with output plus one or a minus one. So the given output, so the final output is a sine of y equal to y is greater than 0. If the answer is greater than 0, then the sine function produces the output 1. Otherwise, produces the output minus 1. And the graph is shows like this. Okay. So the output of plus 1 specifies that the neuron is triggered, and output of minus 1 specifies that the neuron did not get triggered. And here the SGN, that is sine, stands for the sine function with output plus 1 or a minus 1. Then next is error in perceptron. Okay, so up to this we create or how to generate the output in a perceptron or a net input. Okay, so the next part is the error in perceptron. So in the perceptron learning rule, the predicate output is compared with the known output. So if it does not match, the error is propagated backward to allow the weight adjustment to happen. Okay. So let us discuss the decision function of perceptron. So here the perceptron decision function. So denote the decision function phi of z of a perceptron is defined to take a linear combination of x and w vectors. So here, so W are the weight equal to W1 up to the Wm in a matrix form, and X is total number of inputs denoted in a capital X equal to X1 up to the Xm. So here the M is the number of inputs to the perceptron, and Z equal to W1 X1 plus W2 X2 up to the Wn Xn, and the phi of z, the decision function, equal to if z, that is the decision function, is greater than or equal to threshold value, then the output is 1, otherwise minus 1. Okay, so decision function is plus 1 if z is greater than a threshold theta, and it is a minus 1 otherwise. So this is the perceptron algorithm. So how to generate the error in this perceptron? So the predicate output is compared with the known output. So it is if it is does not match, the error is propagated backward to allow a weight adjustment to happen. Okay. So in that case, अगर हमारा जो आउटपुट आ रहा है वो अपना जो कंपेयर होगा जो ऑब्जर्व आउटपुट आना चाहिए. ओके, उसके साथ अगर वो मैच नहीं कर रहा है, सो एरर सिग्नल देगा. ओके, बैकवर्ड टू अलाउ वेट एडजस्टमेंट टू हैपन. सो अगर हमें अपना जो एक्सपेक्टेड आउटपुट मैच करना है अपने ऑब्जर्व आउटपुट के साथ और फाइनल आउटपुट के साथ, सो हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा, वेट की जो वैल्यूज है वो एडजस्ट करनी पड़ेगी. सो अगर हम वेट के वैल्यूज को एडजस्ट करेंगे, सो कब तक एडजस्ट करना है, जब तक कि हमारा एक्सपेक्टेड आउटपुट एंड दी ऑब्जर्व आउटपुट सेम नहीं आता तब तक के. ओके. नेक्स्ट, So, for the simplicity, the threshold theta can be brought to the left and represented as a W0 x0, where W0 equal to minus theta and the x0 equal to 1. So here, for in that case, the if we are not using the threshold theta, and then in that case we are adding one bias unit denoted as a W0 with weight W0 equal to minus theta and the input value x0 equal to 1. So the final decision function is a z equal to W0 x0 plus W0 x0 plus W1 x1 plus W2 x2 up to the Wm xm. So, so here W raised to t and x. So the decision function is final decision function is z equal to or phi equal phi function of phi equal to W raised to t and x in a form of 1 or minus 1. So if the phi of W raised to t x is greater than 0, then the answer is 1. If less than 0, then the answer is minus 1. Okay. Okay. So if the uh, decision function, that is this, okay, phi of z is greater than equal to 0, then the neuron fires, or less than 0, then neuron does not fire, or W2 equal to 0. So, okay, this is x1, x2 for the input x1, x2. Okay, so this is the final output. Next, the perceptron has some characteristics. So these are the some characteristics of a perceptron. So the first point is a perceptron is an algorithm for the supervised learning of a single layer binary linear classification. So in the perceptron we are using the binary classification problem. Okay, throughout the neural network we are using this binary classification problem. Okay, so this is the binary classification problem. Classify the neurons, positive neurons or negative neurons. Okay, so optimal weight coefficients are automatically learned. So this is the second characteristics of perceptron. The third one is the weights are multiplied with the input features and decision is made if the neuron is fired or not. The fourth point is the activation function applies the step rule to check if the output of the weighting function is greater than 0. So the linear decision boundary is drawn, enabling the distinction between the two linear separable classes plus 1 and minus 1. If the sum of the input signal exceeds a certain threshold, it outputs a signal, produces the output signal, otherwise there is a no output. Okay, so these are the characteristics of a perceptron. Thank you.